Okay. Hello, everyone. This is our fourth and last GBM of a spring semester in SUSTA. As we are moving towards the end of the school year, we are going to talk over the past year, how it went for each of our communities and for SUSTA in general. We will also run the SUSTA elections. And lastly, we will have some open floor to talk about the issue or either issues or hear some thoughts, ideas about how we're going to move forward into summer semester and the next year. Okay, so what I want to start today with, I want to quickly recap how this past year looked for us. And I want to remind us all that we've actually run our past election in fall 2023 to 22 to be exact, and so the current board is still executing their roles until the next fall. However, we are proud to say that we've made quite a bit of accomplishments, taking into account that this was last year was a reboot year, and we have pretty much picked it up in a very unusual environment and in a very unusual situation with a full-scale war going on. So the context of this advocacy and cultural advocacy has shifted more towards being more proactive, being more engaging with our communities. So speaking of SUSTA, and I'll begin, and my teammates all from the SUSTA e-board can then join the conversation and also fill in the gaps that I have not mentioned. One of our biggest successes for the past year was the reconnection of the SUSTA community in general. So a couple of things that I wanted to point out, that we have pretty extensive community that we are communicating with online. It is both the Telegram channel and the Instagram community. If I'm not mistaken, Telegram channel currently is like already over 120 members, and the Instagram community is over 450. Victoria, correct me if I'm wrong. So it's quite a substantial step for us to grow our community to this size, and also to keep growing it in the future. We have a lot of potential, a lot of people to engage with. So if we're speaking about our members, we usually engage typically with the club organizations on campuses. Our primary goal is to help clubs that have not been established yet to help establish their presence officially on the US campuses, and also help all existing clubs to conduct their activity in terms of engagement with the local communities, in conducting their activity with through different events. We even launched a pilot small grant program this year, and 3 clubs have benefited from that support. So I really appreciate your involvement and your maintaining this connection, and most importantly, keep advocating for Ukraine in your communities. Moving on, we have also on the SUSTA level, on the more level of this network, we have held 11 meetings in total, including this one, periodically re-engaging with our community, bringing in speakers, and circulating the information inside our community between different members of our community. We also had our social hour event, which was again pilot event this past year in spring semester, where we had over 12 US and European schools joining this social hour event, which was a great success. I've heard from many participants that they really did enjoy it. So we hope to have more of this kind of like social engagement, because our main goal here is to build a platform for people to connect and to join their effort in advocating for Ukraine. Earlier this month, we also attended one big in-person gathering, again, first one of its kind. I hope very much that this tradition will continue. We will be able to gather more in person. I'm talking here about the Ukraine Action Summit, which happened in April, a couple of weeks ago, and I suggest we can discuss it more during the social hour when we will be exchanging our experiences for the past year. I would love to hear from you also. If you've attended, what were your thoughts? And also, if you have not attended, whether you would like to attend events like this. And lastly, but not the least, one of the important priorities for our past year was to establish partnerships with the other organizations that advocate for Ukraine. So we've been reaching out to many of those. And in particular, we've been in close contact with organizations such as UKK, Ukraine World Congress, Ukraine World Congress Student Chapter, UNWLA, which is the Ukrainian National Women's League of America, and CLICH. And again, as I mentioned, we've also encountered a lot of other representatives from other organizations that actively advocate for Ukraine in the Ukraine Action Summit, in the in-person event that I've talked about. And again, I would love us to join that effort and to support their effort and also to learn from them, because we are the future generation of the advocates who are going to keep this effort going forward. And now that we are advocating on our campuses, we are trying to fundraise money from people that we then redirect for humanitarian effort, for support of the Ukrainian people who have suffered from war and are still suffering. But one of the probably most obvious truths is that the war is not over. And even when it's over, there is still so much work to do in terms of rebuilding, supporting, advocating, and educating people about what Ukraine is and what it gives to the world. So without further ado, one last thing that I probably wanted to mention, I will be sharing these slides actually like just in a moment to you so that you can access. My team and I, we have prepared our executive reports. Each of us has put a couple of slides, very short presentation of our key activities, our key contributions to this community. And feel free to check them out. They're via link in this slide. If you have any questions, we have also included some contacts there. You can reach out directly to each of us and talk to us, or we can discuss also this in any gathering like this. So I'll switch the word to my team if they want to add something before we move on to the next chapter. Okay, so, well, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to open up the SUSTA elections officially. And as you have seen in the chat via those documents, we have currently 8 positions open to run in the next for the next board. So the next board will start working with us closely right after this meeting, during summer, but we will fully transition all responsibility to them starting fall 2023. Yes, Artem and Rostislav, do you have some question?
We have a question. Is it possible to ask to be a candidate for the elections right now?
Sorry, I couldn't hear clearly your question. Could you repeat it one more time?
Rostik is asking if he can propose himself as a candidate, even though he did not submit the application.
Yes, absolutely. You can propose yourself now as a candidate. We will also ask you to submit a form just after today's meeting, just for the documentation purposes, if it's okay.
Yeah, awesome, thank you.
Sounds great. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, any other questions so far or any other comments? Wonderful. Great. So you can see the 8 positions that we're looking for. I will briefly describe the idea of why these 8 positions in just a couple of sentences. So we will we divide them in 2 blocks. It's like 4 plus 4. As you can see, we have 4 positions, which will be helping the SUSTA network as a one unity, as a one network of many different individuals, many different clubs, many different members to enable this communication. And also we have the 4 VP positions that are regional. So what it means that if you are attending school and in a particular region, and South, West, Northeast, and Midwest, these are the 4 regions that we've divided according to the official US Census regionalization map. You know best what is happening in your region, and you know best what are the trends, what are the Ukrainian cultural communities that are gathering in your region. So we consider that it would be best that you will be the representative like in your region, and you will be able to engage with local communities the most. Like local communities, I mean, it can be either other organizations that advocate for Ukraine and you can cooperate with them, or you can also engage with other student clubs, other Ukrainian students in your area, and engage them in your activity, like either in your club's activity or in your community activity. So if you have any questions, let me know about either of these positions. Victoria has also shared the link to election form. And in that election form, you will also find, can you see my election form now?
Yes.
Yeah, so here you can also find the document with the detailed description. Oh, it's actually a little bit outdated, but let me see. Yeah, I mean, essentially, this is the same description. We just like reformatted a little bit in a new version, but anyhow, you can find the description of the roles for each of these positions. Artem and Rostislav, do you still have a question? I see your hand raised, so just was wondering.
Oh, sorry, we didn't take it down. Sorry.
Okay, great.
Sorry. Thank you.
Well, awesome. So, well, from here, where I want us to go, I actually will be, I guess, will be calling each of the positions, and then I will be checking with the form, which is application form. We already received some applications from candidates. If you wish to nominate yourself, you are free to do so by typing in chat so that we have we can clearly see your wish to run for this. A couple of general rules how we're going to do this. If there are 2 or more candidates for one position, we will run the election. We will give the each person some time to speak. And then as a community, we will vote for either of the candidates. If there is one candidate for the position, the candidate will automatically qualify. However, if someone has any objection, they can speak up and explain their position, their point of view. And again, I'll remind you, if it happens so that any of the positions does not have any nominations as of now, you can nominate yourself right now in this presentation. Does it make sense? Okay, sounds great. So let me I'll reshare. So let's start with the president position. So far, we have not received any nominations for the president, but I'll open the floor for anyone who is willing to consider their candidacy for this position.
I would like to run for this position. I believe that my election form didn't go through last night.
Yeah, well, let me quickly stop sharing. I'll go double check. Sorry, Victoria. Yeah, I didn't see your position, so that's why I did not have any idea.
No worries. It might be a mistake on my end.
Okay. Okay, Victoria, is there anyone else who is up for this? Okay, Victoria, can you please tell us a couple of words about your background? Which club do you represent, which university, and a couple of maybe your inspirations for the future e-board?
Sure. So my name is Victoria Lipa. I currently study at Northeastern University, and I'm a part of that club at that university. Studying psychology with a minor in biology. This past year, I served as the social media chair for SUSTA, and we're really taking the organization off the ground. We're involving more people in it, but it's still a quite small organization. So in this upcoming year, I hope to grow it more, get more advocates involved. I really just want to create a space that we can have these advocates gather, because a lot of people have amazing ideas. They just need the people behind them to support them, and that we can create this community of students at all these different universities to get involved. And so that'll be one of the main points I see in this upcoming year. Secondly, I want to share what the Ukrainian identity is, so we can invite many guest speakers that are involved in Slavic studies to create these informal meetings that I think would interest not just Ukrainian students, but in general just anyone. Yep. Thank you for listening.
Great, thank you very much, Victoria. Well, according to the rules, I'll let anyone who has any objections to speak up. Well, in that case, congratulations, Victoria, our president for the fall 2023, summer 2024. Great. Okay, so we'll move on to the advocacy chair position. And again, this position so far is actually has one application. So Artem. Are there any other people who would like to nominate themselves for the advocacy position? Okay, well, Artem, the floor is yours. Can you tell us a couple of words about this yourself?
Hey guys, yeah, sorry, I was chewing, but well, thank you so much for accepting my nomination. And I'm Artem. I'm a senior at Tufts University in Boston. I'm a Ukrainian Vietnamese, and randomly, I've recently found out I'm a Ukrainian citizen, but I just found out anyway. Not relevant. So at Tufts University, I've been leading the Ukrainian advocacy efforts. Like, we organize concerts, we did fundraising, we helped departments to organize Ukrainian events, and we also helped some incoming Ukrainian scholars, like, with any help they need, because we got 3 scholars just came fresh from Ukraine. So that's some of the work that we did on campus. Unfortunately, the other guys at Tufts could not join the meeting today, but we have a small community of Ukrainians at Tufts as well. And together with other Ukrainian students in Boston area, we have been helping each other to organize events at each other's universities, like at Berkeley, at Northeastern, at MIT, and even Harvard. And we also work with local nonprofit organizations like Ukrainian Cultural Center of New England as student volunteers to organize protests of the city scale, or organize community events like children games on Easter, or we even work with local businesses to help them basically get more exposure with the Ukrainian community. So I've been back and forth with all this stuff. So I really look forward to applying the skills and connections to do some advocacy campaigns at SUSTA. And hopefully that by having better coordination and more abundant resources, we can reduce the burden on students in universities, because as a student, I understand how hard it is to juggle jobs, academic work, and also club responsibility. And for many of us, the responsibility to organize something is really heavy, because we need to do it and we feel the pressure to do it. And by that, it's a high risk of burnout. So I really believe that SUSTA can kick in and offer such resources, connections, and even funding in the future. That one of the parts that I really hope that the new e-board could together work on is securing some funding from Ukrainian diaspora to offer clubs, especially clubs that are not recognized, ability to organize events without spending their own credit card on it. Yeah, so that's my main goal. So really look forward to work with the new e-board.
Well, sounds great. Thank you very much, Artem. Okay, so following up the procedure, any objections? Well, congratulations, Artem. Welcome on the e-board as a new advocacy chair. Wonderful. So
thank you, my pleasure.
Thank you. So we're moving forward and we're going to open the floor for the social media chair positions. Is there anyone who is who wants to nominate themselves?
I would like to nominate myself.
Okay, Victoria.
If possible, if I can do both positions.
I mean, I don't see why not. Anyone has any objections here? Great, Victoria. So can you maybe like add a little bit about your vision of the social media strategy for this community?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I previously served as a social media chair, and with that, you kind of figure out what things work, what things don't work. And so applying those skills that I learned with this year to this prior year, I realized it's good to create like certain templates, certain ways of engagement, like hours of the day, what kind of content you would repost, because you kind of like figure out what people are more likely to see in their feed, and you don't want to reiterate that. You want to find something, scour the feed and push something interesting out. And then, of course, promote. Like Artem was talking about different campaigns. I think it would be really interesting to learn how to figure out those and how to involve different universities in those.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Victoria, thank you very much for your contribution this past year. We'll remember your very creative and thoughtful campaigns filled with senses. So looking forward to being exposed to more content.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, great. Any objections for Victoria? Continue doing a great job with social media? Well, congratulations, Victoria. Well, I'll move forward to our last position, which is more on a national level, kind of like maintaining the functionality of a network itself, which is the executive director position. So any nominees from the crowd that are here? I'll repeat my call for one more time. If there are any nominees, this is the time to speak. To my best knowledge, I did not receive any, I did not see any. Okay, let me go check back because I think that I did receive some. Okay, but not for an executive director. So let me know. Okay, no executive director nominations. Okay, we'll move forward, which is the first, our VP. Let me actually see. Okay, VP of West. I have one one candidate here. This is Maxim Zubkov, who is in the meeting with us. Maxim, would you like to say a couple of words?
Yeah, hey everyone. So I moved to the United States in 2013. Then I was like in LA. I was a math PhD student when the war started, and I took 1 year off. During that year, I founded a nonprofit and did some community work on UC Berkeley campus, where I was involved also working with Berkeley with Ukraine when we were like advocating for Ukraine, doing different fundraising and stuff. But then for the second half of the year, I went to Ukraine for 6 months and did volunteering work and other projects there on the ground. But I decided to come back to finish my PhD. So right now I'm kind of doing full-time, continuing working as a like with a nonprofit and advocating for Ukraine, and at the same time being a PhD student. So that's why I'm really interested in this position, because I am already like trying to reach out to different campuses on the West Coast to do different fundraising events. For example, I'm going to attend Whole Earth Festival this May, which is like the festival on UC Davis campus, which is run by students. And I'm really interested kind of spread and create the community of Ukrainian organization in United States, kind of to kind of say like the Russian organization stuff, because Russians on our campus are pretty active. So that's why I want to kind of level up Ukrainian voices and to make sure that the people know what is going on in Ukraine and advocate for Ukraine. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Maxim. Thank you very much for everything that you've done and that you're doing. And I think it's very important point to kind of like tune into that activity to speak up and not, I mean, the word that you were looking for, I was like thinking about domination, but it's not exactly like to dominate, but it's like be a loud voice, right? That's the concept, right? To be visible to the society here. And yeah, I mean, do not let the public opinion again like move towards, like lean towards those narratives that have been built by Russian community for so long. Anyone who has some questions to Maxim or any objections? Yeah, by the way, we can also ask questions each other. That's totally fine. We can do it now or after this. Well, congratulations, Maxim, with the VP of West appointment. Wonderful. So next I am going to move on towards the next regional VP, which is VP of Northeast. And I've seen two applications, one from Rostislav and one from Artem. So let me know, guys, how would you like to run through this?
Could you please specify which Artem?
Artem, who is our advocacy chair.
Wait. I take my candidacy down. My bad.
Okay. Okay, Rostislav, then the floor is yours.
Thank you. I would say that I'm part of Ukrainian Club at Northeastern, and we're doing local events and trying to bring Ukrainians in our university together, and also locally in the university also print posters and invite Americans to our club meetings and talk about the issues that are going on right now. Beyond, for the vice president of the region, we have friends in other universities, in MIT, in Harvard, in BU, at Tufts, and we also have a local nonprofit MIA. We have a local project Shop for UA, and obviously there are other states, so we will try to work with them and organize the compliance to expand the mission of the union.
Thank you very much, Rostislav. Any questions or any objections? Well, congratulations, Rostislav.
Thank you.
We're welcoming you in our community, and yep, everything that you said, like, it will be definitely supported. Great. So so far we have two more regional VPs left here, which are the VP of South and VP of Midwest. Is there anyone who wants to nominate themselves as a VP of Midwest? And VP of South? Please speak up, because I might have missed your hands if you have raised your hands or any reactions. Okay. So with that being said, we will consider our elections closed as of today. We have filled the positions of, let me quickly do this summary slide. Should have probably. Okay, so our president is Victoria. Please give her a round of applause, welcoming applause one more time. Thank you. Advocacy chair is Artem. Social media chair, Victoria. Okay. Executive chair, we have still an open position. If you are willing to learn more about this position, so please do stay after this meeting if you have any questions, or feel free to reach out to me or to Victoria, to Artem, who will be working with you in the next cycle. And feel free to reach out to them to learn about like how you possibly can fit in the future agenda of SUSTA. We have the open VP of South. We have the new appointment of VP of Western region, which is Maxim. Let's give Maxim a round of welcoming round of applause here. Great, welcome, Maxim. VP of Northeast is Rostislav. Again, welcome back. Welcome, Rostislav, to the community. And VP of Midwest is open as well. So again, I'll just repeat here, because for clarity, that the positions that are open here are still to be filled. So feel free to reach out. And if you, for example, have any friends who might be interested in covering this activity as a VP of South, VP of Midwest, or an executive director, direct them to Victoria, Artem, Maxim, and Rostislav, who will be the next e-board team, who will be immediate colleagues, so that you can learn more, or your friends can learn more about how best you can support the community, contribute to the teamwork, and also how the team can accommodate your wishes, your desires, and use your skill set the best. Okay, any questions so far? Any comments, feedback? Candidates in our new board is happy, I hope, excited. Well, congratulations one more time to everyone. So now we are moving on to our second part of this meeting. Typically, we have some time to open discussion, to open floor for anyone who wants to speak. And today I I was going to offer us a couple of things to discuss. One of them was the summer initiatives, how we are going to move in for summer, what are our thoughts about locally in our clubs which we represent, what do you know about the summer activities, summer initiatives? Yeah, so anyone wants to speak to that?
Well, to my knowledge, summer is a vacuum, so no one does anything over summer, at least to my knowledge, at the institutions in our region, at least in the state of Boston. A lot of students that I know within my network will probably travel somewhere, either interning or they will travel to Ukraine. So we have, again, to my knowledge, I don't know much in terms of institutional based, but individual based, we have friends who will probably keep going to local events and sing. Me and other friends will work on with local businesses, so that's the Boston thing. And then, yeah, that's mostly just, we will have a big community event in Boston that's held by adults. It's called Picnic, so we'll have a lot of Ukrainians gathering together who are like all kind of ages and Ukrainian American Ukrainians. So that's planned to be happening in late May. So those are things that we know in Boston specifically.
Okay, so it's pretty much some local communities which are outside of the school campuses, they are organizing certain events that you know of and you are planning to join. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And most students just do stuff on their own. So since with the experience of last summer, clubs just stop working for summer. People just do what they can on their own or within their groups of friends, but not as clubs.
Okay, that makes sense. Any differences in other clubs?
Yeah, summer usually dead, especially last summer in Berkeley was super dead.
Okay, but I believe that in the West, there will be also some like events, I don't know, what's that, Constitution?
They're usually like community events, and they're like some Ukrainian artists are coming to the area. Yeah, but in terms of student life and in terms of advocacy, in terms of universities, there is not much stuff, but there is definitely like community ones.
Okay. But by the way, those community events are the great opportunities to reach out, maybe like to some other organizations to meet, so that later in fall, when you're organizing some events, you can invite those people too to come to your event. It's like mutual exchange, mutual support, I guess. Okay, sounds great. So as far as I remember, there will be several like already like calendar dates in summer, which is the Constitution Day of Ukraine. Sometimes I know that sometimes there will be some gathering, and also the Independence Day. And for Independence Day, as far as I know, typically there are some celebrations in different cities, different areas. So keep an eye on those. And if we know about any events that are happening, like organized by our partners, they sometimes launch certain like campaigns that also require participation and support and are quite engaging oftentimes. So we will also be sharing those events in chat if you are seeking for any during summer. And you also feel free to share if you know any event, I don't know, like online flash mob that people from all parts of the US, or even those people who went back home to Ukraine or to other countries can participate, can engage with using on internet. Feel free to share them in chat so that we all know and kind of like, don't fall out completely of this like mindset, this agenda of keeping showing support, and not only support, but keeping educating people, because the people who are in the front lines, they don't have a summer off. So they constantly need our support, if it makes sense. Yeah, so Victoria, would you like to speak about the summer initiative, if it's like has any like concrete contours as of now?
Are you talking about the book club?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been in contact with the author and he has agreed to meet with us for the last meeting. Right now, we're just trying to find a particular date because I won't be in the country, he won't be in the country either. So we're struggling to find like a perfect time that works for us. But otherwise, it's looking good. Oh, I also had a question we could probably put out, but there are two books that I was considering. It's by the same author, Serhii Plokhy. It's either one about the history of Ukraine or two about the war in Ukraine. The latter book, it hasn't been released yet, so I don't really know if we should choose that as our option or if we should just focus on Ukrainian history. So I thought I'd just put that out there if anyone has any opinions on that.
So let me just ask a clarification question. One book is already kind of like available to rent or purchase.
Exactly. That's also the other concern is that the older book is much more widely available. The other one, not so much. It'll come out in a couple days.
Oh, couple of days from today?
I think it's like May 17.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't know. What does the community think?
Sorry, what was the question again?
Yes. Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
Like
Okay.
I heard the context, I just didn't hear the last question.
Yeah, so the author, there's two books that I was considering. One that's about just the general history of Ukraine. That one has already been out for a couple years. It's widely available on Amazon for like a cheap price. The other one, it's coming out soon. I think it's like May 17. It's specifically about the Ukrainian war. I don't know if it's going to be too widely available or if that's even a topic that we want to read about.
I feel like what's new makes more sense.
Yeah, we have to read them also and check. If we...
Okay.
Is it going to be online or are we doing this somehow in person?
Yeah, it'll be virtual.
Virtual, okay. And it's going to be organized by SUSTA or?
Yeah, I'll be organizing it.
Okay, cool. So we can definitely help promote it with adults as well, because I think a lot of adults would be interested in this.
Yeah, I think it might be a good idea to make a poll on this on Instagram to ask the audience what they would prefer to read. It depends on if the book is going to be widely available at the time the book club starts.
Yeah, I think it's an important factor. So yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so any other comments? Questions? Concerns?
My question is the current e-board gonna still function and execute the current plans until the end of the summer? Or how will we proceed from now?
Yeah, I mean, the tenure, right, is like the full year. Like it's not exactly calendar year, neither academic year, in the sense that, well, it's an academic year because it starts in fall and then it runs through the next fall. So
Okay.
in that sense, so right after today's meeting, we will actually reach out to the new e-board, and we will find a time so that like all of us can meet, and we will kind of like share our materials with you, and like from there, it's like we'll discuss how we will collaborate on this. So with that being said, it does not prevent you from starting working on the initiatives that you want to work, but it also means that you can count on our support in terms of if you need any suggestion, advice, like how we did this thing, or like, you know, any other type of support. We will be openly available for that. Does it answer your question, Artem?
That does answer the question. So awesome. We'll look forward to the group chat and hopefully some sort of meeting that we could flesh things out, because I feel like summer is a great time to plan things out and start building foundation for the fall season.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we will also share some contacts with you to like some external organizations that we've been building our relationship with. You can also, we will introduce you at the point where it's like appropriate, and you will be then, maintaining that communication going forward. Okay, so I wanted also to share our past experience from the Ukraine Action Summit. So this was the event which was organized by the Ukrainian Coalition for Ukraine. American Coalition for Ukraine. American Coalition for Ukraine is the actually the like a coalition of many organizations. And it is, let me quickly go back here. Okay, American Coalition for Ukraine, right? This was the second event. The first event was in fall 2022. It was inaugural conference, and in spring this was the second conference. And the idea is to unite all people who are actively involved in the advocacy effort all over the US to actually direct this force to help the Ukraine, when we speak about helping Ukraine, there might be different efforts. So individually, each of these organizations, okay, let me see this form. I'm not sure. Okay, never mind. I sent you the link so you can explore on your own, but anyhow, individually, each of these organizations, such as RASM, UKKA, United Help Ukraine, CLIJ, they are working in their dimension. So some of them, they are supporting, providing some equipment for the Ukrainian people or Ukrainian armed forces. Some of them, they are supporting the humanitarian aid, such as delivering goods, products, medical supplies. Some of the people, they actually work with the Congress people, and they are in a constant communication. Many people are in their local branches. They are working with local communities, and that's like where the main effort is located, in local communities, because then, due to us living in democracy, this all local people, they have an impact on a global policy regarding Ukraine as well. So that's very important piece of work. And the summit itself is to unite all these people, first of all, to introduce them, to create a network. And secondly, this summit is also kind of like a training for people to go and talk to people who are in Congress, in the House of Representatives, to explain them, to educate them why it is so important to keep supporting Ukraine. It's not a secret to you that US has been one of the largest donors so far in terms of any kind of support, monetary or in supplies, military supplies, humanitarian supplies to Ukraine. As a government, and also as each individually of us, we are contributed to certain fundraisers of certain organizations that are located here. So it's an event that gives people some tools how they can go literally knock on the door of the representatives, congressmen, senators, and tell them that we are here and we want you to pay attention to a particular bill. Currently, there are several bills in the hearing in the American legislative branch that are aimed at either supporting Ukraine or addressing certain issues, such as the forceful not extradition, but it's forceful stealing of kids, pretty much, and moving them to Russia forcefully, Ukrainian kids. So that's another bill that is currently actively being reviewed in the Senate. So the event is of utter importance, and what I wanted to share with you, I wanted to share some of the photos and from this past event. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so. And I know some of the people here, they also have attended the event. If you want to share your experience, feel free to do so.
Well, I think it was a really fun experience, especially for Ukrainians who did not get a chance to like understand how democracy functions in Ukraine, because I feel like it's not that well educated yet. Then trying these out in the United States is a great opportunity to, for those especially who would go back to Ukraine in the future, and potentially this training would apply to these people in Ukraine to protect and develop the democracy in Ukraine as well.
Yeah, so we had the like more, we've attended, I've attended, or Sam attended, a couple of other like people who representatives of clubs or have attended. And what actually impressed me is the level of preparation of the event. And I like know for sure that these people, most of these people were never trained to be political advocates for any cause, but within a year, they pretty much acquired this new qualification of being pretty much like professional speakers, professional experts, political analysts, and well, if we may like call it like in some sense, it's lobbying, but it also is a skill. They became like very, very powerful negotiators, and they were also sharing their expertise with the like the general population. There were like more than 300 attendees this past event, and yeah, I mean, it was great to see people coming from all over the states. Like Tennessee or delegation was just huge. We were like, people were grouping in these delegations so that they can go and talk to the representatives of their states in Senate and Congress. But like Tennessee or organization, that's what I noticed. They had like one of the largest circles over there. Yeah. So I like this picture because of this white square. This indeed can be either each of us. And I mean, you don't have to have any prerequisites to either attend the event or to participate in the activities. The most important thing that you do show up, and you are, of course, each team develops their agenda, like they work it carefully, because this is like a very serious high level of preparation needs to be done, because you have only like certain amount of time, and you need to kind of like convince the person that is sitting right in front of you why your matter is important. But you don't have to have like either political science degree, no prior experience in diplomacy work or any other work. Can be anyone. And for that matter, you don't even have to have a degree. You need just to be active and to participate in this. So I'll share, by the way, I'll share the link to this Google Drive also with you in the chat so that you can look for yourself. But I highly encourage you to attend this event in the future as well. And I hope that SUSTA will be able to have like a larger representation there, and also maybe some event for the student advocacy, how we can that we can meet in person and discuss this all matters in person. Okay, so I'll stop here. If there are any other issues, comments, concerns, anyone wants to speak up, like take the floor?
I guess I would just like to say thank you for joining us today, and I look forward to working with you guys in the upcoming year.
Yay, great. Well, it's 5 o'clock. Thank you very much for attending. I'm going to stop the recording now.